Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Tuesday, May the 20th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local share market is set for a strong start with ASX futures up almost 0.9%. Global stocks edged slightly higher while US bond yields initially extended gains in response to the downgrade of the US government's sovereign credit rating. Stocks on Wall Street recovered from earlier losses on weakened market sentiment to finish in the positive. Rate-sensitive tech and growth stocks began the session negatively as Treasury yields increased. Among the Mag 7, Tesla was the worst performer, down 2%, whereas Microsoft was the best. Novavax shares surged after the company secured a long-awaited US regulatory approval for its COVID-19 vaccine. And Regeneron Pharmaceuticals announced it will buy genomics firm 23andMe for $256 million through a bankruptcy auction. US-listed shares of the gold miners gained, tracking the rise in bullion prices, benefiting from a weaker dollar. Well, US President Donald Trump's sweeping tax cut bill, which had been stalled for days by Republican infighting over spending cuts, won approval from a key congressional committee. However, the bill still faces opposition and potential change in the full House and Senate. Meanwhile, President Trump has said Russia and Ukraine would begin talks immediately of ending the war after a phone call between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. FOMC member John Williams suggested policymakers may not be ready to lower interest rates before September, given the uncertain economic outlook. And fellow Fed member Raphael Bostic said the economy is in a lot of flux. Policy is in flux. There's a lot of uncertainty. I think we'll have to wait 3 to 6 months to start to see where this settles out. And JP Morgan Chase Chief Executive Jamie Dimon has said that markets and central bankers underappreciate the risks created by record US deficit, tariffs and international tensions, saying we have huge deficits, we have what I consider almost complacent central banks. You all think they can manage all this? I don't think they can. Well, the US 2-year Treasury yield initially rose to 4.04%, but then fell, while the US 10-year made similar moves to be back around 4.45%. The market's pricing in just a 5% chance the Fed funds rate will be cut by 25 basis points at the next meeting in mid-June, with 4 more cuts in the easing cycle. And the US sovereign credit rating downgrade has weighed on the US dollar index to be down more than 0.5%. The Aussie is trading at 64.6 US cents. And Bitcoin is trading around 105,000 US dollars. Well, oil prices are marginally higher on signs of a breakdown in US talks with Iran over its nuclear program. Brent crude futures at 65 US dollars a barrel. Copper rose 1.5%, iron ore down around 0.5% to $100 a tonne, and the gold price firmed on safe haven demand following the downgrade of the US government's credit rating. Spot gold up around 1% to $3,230 an ounce. Well, locally today, the focus will be on the Reserve Bank as it reveals its policy decision, with expectations it will cut the cash rate by 25 basis points to 3.85%. And on the corporate calendar, Technology One releases its earnings update and Light & Wonder has an investor briefing. That is your day ahead. See you again tomorrow.